you found the skeleton, how would you tell it's a dinosaur? You personally, how would you decide?
Well, interesting question. I don't know. I'd have to do some research on this.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dapper Reacts number 171. I am here with a very muted Vishanti and a very muted Kip, but I have just unmuted them. Hello, Vishanti.
Hi.
Hello, Kip. How y'all doing?
It never fails.
Yeah.
What never fails?
That one or both of us are never really entirely sure when it's gonna officially start.
It's almost like Dapper's bad at this.
I want to point out that I have been doing this show for 171 episodes, of which I'm pretty sure you, Kip, have been here for several dozen of them. And every single time, I go live with everyone muted at 3 minutes till. There's a stream starts soon video that lasts approximately 3 minutes. Then there's about 20 minutes of intro, and then I leave you muted to say hi.
20
and then,
minutes of intro?
Sorry, 20 seconds.
Holy shit, dude.
Sorry, 20 seconds.
Wow.
20 seconds. Then I give a quick intro on my own and unmute you. It happens every single time. And the variation in that is rarely more than 10 seconds.
I would like to point out
today
that
you didn't give us the 30
just
seconds.
That's true.
Warning, so.
I didn't.
Did not.
I was curious to see how it would go if I did everything the same, and the answer is no one has noticed the pattern yet.
I think you forgot. So.
All right, we got let's see, not a super chat, a membership milestone chat from Science Side Up, who's been a member for 50 months. Hi, Maddie, and is at the amulet level, and says, just want y'all to start the stream off right with a Godzilla, a Mothra, and we got a Carmen. Well, thank you very much. I'll take a drink. And the reason...
That's your little dog's name.
Yeah. The reason that Maddie sends a Carmen is because she thought that Carmen was one of the kaiju emojis until she realized it was a dog's face. So now she just sticks with that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Everyone who sees that picture and who's also seen like pictures of Carmen like as a whole-bodied animal, I never realized how big her ears were. Yeah, she has gigantic ears for her size.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're huge. And they're not floppy, so you see like the full length of them. Tree clamp.
See, I understand this because Dagon has giant ears. Probably, like, relatively speaking, not as big to his head as Carmen's, but they are huge, and they also just stick straight up. Yeah.
Tree Clam Tat for $5 says, there's a dinosaur screaming in the tree next to my kitchen. AIG is a putrid pile of pen 15s. Thank you. If you don't get that joke, just write out pen and 15, and then you'll get it. So, all right. So let's see.
This is like 8,008 on a calculator.
It has been suggested by Roshna that I mute Kip randomly throughout the stream. I could. I'm not going to.
I saw that.
I will mute Kip.
I appreciate that too.
Non-randomly if needed. Also, Tree Clam Ted says it wouldn't let me send a super chat with a pride flag. What?
Wow.
All right. Here's my recommendation. Anyone else who wants to send a super chat, please try to include a pride flag. It is Pride Month. And if it continues to not work, let me know, because that is something that that I think we should all be aware of. Yeah. There is no reason it shouldn't let you do that. Yeah. The only thing I can see is it is possible that there might be some kind of geographic dependent thing, because I know that YouTube does specifically block content based on LGBTQ content from certain countries. Like, it's pretty hard to get LGBTQ content in Pakistan. So, Metageeky Platypus Librarian, who's been a member for 19 months and is at the Tetrapod level, says, Carmen is the best kaiju, with a couple Carmen emojis. You know what? I agree. We'll take a drink. And, Vishanti, I figured it out. Here's what we need to do. We need to get a hold of the Marvel writing staff and get them to write a one-off Kid Kaiju comic in which Kid Kaiju draws Carmen. Wouldn't that be fun?
my god.
And if you haven't heard of Kid Kaiju, congratulations, you're like almost everyone else on the planet. The screen... Yeah. Kid Kaiju is a Marvel character whose superpower is that whatever he draws comes to life, and what he draws tends to be kaiju. And sometimes the kaiju he draws are real kaiju, in which case it actually summons the kaiju. In fact, I think at least a few times he's summoned Fin Fang Foom, who is normally a Doctor Strange villain, but who is a giant dragon.
Actually, he's an Iron Man villain.
Is he an Iron Man? Oh yeah, that's right. He's an Iron Man villain most of the time.
Yeah.
What is a kaiju?
Kaiju comes from the Japanese word for monster, and it actually comes from the phrase daikaiju, but cutting off the dai, which means great or big. And daikaiju are a genre of Japanese media focusing on large monsters like Godzilla or Gamera.
Oh, okay.
And so in English, the word kaiju generally means a Godzilla-like monster.
Got it. But not necessarily gigantic.
No, they have to be gigantic. Otherwise, it's not normally called a kaiju.
Oh, okay. All right.
But if Kid Kaiju drew Carmen, since he pretty much only ever draws kaiju-sized monsters, he would almost certainly draw her as a giant-sized monster, at which point Carmen would be summoned into the Marvel multiverse as a giant dog. As a tiny dog, the size of a giant dog.
Would she look like would she look like just a giant-sized tiny dog, or would she look like a fearsome giant-sized?
That depends
tiny
on
dog, since she's
Kid
a monster.
Kaiju. That depends on Kid Kaiju, on how he draws her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I see.
This is a very Jewish conversation.
What if it's just one really big frog?
The large boulder the size of a small boulder, or whatever it was.
Yep. Let's see, we got a few more. The Screen Geek for €5 says, here's a reminder not to be a Bilbo, wrapped in $5 super chat to help free Kip. AIG is a bag of European morals. Thank you very much. And I'll take a drink. Nice. They do kind of have that appearance. All right.
I don't know why, but now I'm thinking about what I want to have for supper tonight.
Morals. My Unfinished Journey for $5 says, hail Daps, Kip, and Vish, and hail Pride Month with a trans pride, a pirate flag, and a pride flag. So it worked for you. That's weird. And Aramta puts for $2 sends a pride flag and a trans flag. And let's see. That's just how I'm referring to them. I know that there's longer ways that would be more specific, but it's quick this way. Prixie Purple for $2 sends 3 pride flags, 3 trans flags. Carmen equals Godzilla. We'll take a drink for that. Thank you very much. By the way, I am drinking a Long Island iced tea, and I'm taking very small sips because it is strong. It's pretty much a glass full of booze. Goop23 for $2 says, other people can super chat a pride flag, but I can't. So it sounds like it might actually be geographical. That is bizarre. Wow. Also, do be aware that all super chat colors are working today. If we get to 25 super chats, I will drop an actual Steam key that should actually work, because it was my fault that it didn't work last time, for Inquisitor Martyr. And if we get to 50 super chats, I will drop a second one, and we'll also unleash the hosts. The Screen Geek Official for €5 says, here's another super chat for mentioning Fin Fang Foom and Kid Kaiju in one sentence. You know what? You're welcome. Kid Kaiju is... He's an absolutely absurd character, but it's just a lot of fun, right? Because, it was mostly an excuse for Marvel Comics to bring back all their old monsters from their, early days, when one of the things that they did was just publish one-off monster comics. So...
Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
I never heard
Day number 512 of me asking the MCU to bring Dupe.
All right, so
I'd never heard of Kid Kaiju before, and I was like, I was like an old school Marvel Comics collector when I was in junior high and high school.
Yeah, but that was the 70s, so it doesn't really count.
Oh, it was not the 70s, god damn you. It was the 80s. It was very, very firmly the 1980s. My first Marvel comic was Transformers #1. And from there I went on to collect.
Wait, were you there for the whole Death's Head arc?
I didn't stick around that long, actually. So
okay,
after the mini series, after the 4 series, because it was just a 4 series limited series, 4 comic limited series, right? I got all those, loved them, and then they started the regular series a little bit while after that, and I stuck around for I think maybe the first 20 issues, and then there are other things that because it's expensive,
Yeah, it
like
is.
buying comics, especially when you're in high school.
Oh yeah.
So I like, I had to pick and choose, and by that time, I was reading a lot of X-Men. I was reading Wolverine. I was reading The Punisher. I was reading um what was that other one? Oh, Amazing Spider-Man. As soon as like shortly before the Todd McFarlane started taking over just the art. um and then it was good for a little while until he started writing the stories, and I'm like, this is, yeah. So
Mhm.
anyways, like it
I'm
just
a little
it
disappointed that you weren't around for when Death's Head was a Transformers villain who got captured by the Doctor from Doctor who then dropped him off in the Marvel
yeah.
universe for some reason after shrinking him down to be a normal-sized person rather than a Transformer-sized
See,
person, who then became a recurring villain and sometimes an anti-hero in various Marvel comics. Because that's a
I'll
weird
own
character
that. I'll
story.
own that disappointment in me. That really sounds bizarre.
Yeah.
So, um,
Comics,
yeah,
man.
Yeah,
right.
and also they no longer have licenses for Doctor Who or Transformers, so they can't talk about that origin anymore. So that's fun. Sapphire Big Swamp Light for $2 says Happy Pride with a pride flag and trans flag, and says Carmen Kaiju here, and we'll take a drink for that. That's fine. I'm good. Another $5 super chat, and eventually we're gonna get to Carl Kirby maybe. Dango Pie for €5 says human rights exactly, trans flag and a rainbow for dino therapy. Yeah. Be careful with that drink, and thanks for sorting out the Patreon. AIG is a hardware bug we need a fix. Yeah, Dingo Pive had a bit of trouble joining the Discord from Patreon. I don't know what happens. Every once in a while, someone just has an inordinate amount of trouble, and other people, most people, just get in immediately. And there's other people who I have to have like phone calls with them, try to figure out what the heck is going on. So,
You know, uh, I was thinking about this a little bit more. Todd McFarlane had such a cool style when he started drawing those Amazing Spider-Man comics, and I think that's a big part of what I fell in love with. Also Canadian. Um, and but I after a while I noticed that because he would always that was sort of a that was kind of one of the things that he really introduced to the comic series, was just the body contortions that Spider-Man would twist himself into, which is part of the character that I don't think many artists really explored much before McFarlane. But then this also resulted in him doing some really ridiculous, like proportional things with like human body, human anatomy. Sometimes Spider-Man's legs were like 7 feet long, or one was, and the other was like not. But yeah, it's interesting.
Becca
His
just
proportions will never be as weird and nonsensical as the Captain America that Rob Liefeld did.
with the chest.
Where it looks
Oh,
like
see, I
he's
don't know
opening a
that one.
fridge door in his chest.
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
damn.
Becca Justiniano, who's been a member for 31 months, is at the Tetrapod level, says, please say happy birthday to Macy Cat. Well, Macy Cat, happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Macy Cat.
Macy Cat!
All
Happy
right.
birthday!
Let's see. Science Side Up for $5 says, how many dollars do you need to make a short film of Carmen the Kaiju destroying a cardboard city? So the real question is, how do I film that? Because I don't know where to put that cardboard. Or how long it would take. So it's more of it's less a question of how much it would cost and more of a question of just planning. So get with me, and we'll see what we can do. But there is several drink triggers in there, so we'll take a drink. Thank you. Okay, so we are primarily here to talk about this Carl Kirby video in which he is giving a talk to some church about
I
dinosaurs.
was trying hard, guys. I really was trying hard with my Todd McFarlane Spider-Man tangent.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's okay. You got to start reading some Man Spider comics.
Man Spider. See, I don't even know what that is.
Next, she'll be
This
telling
is,
you.
by the way,
Pac-Man.
Oh, there you go.
This is Batcat.
Next thing
So not.
Kip is going to tell me is that he doesn't
Not-
know about Spider-Man 2099.
Oh
God.
no, I know about Spider-Man 2099.
Okay. Are you sure? Do you know about
Hey,
Ultimate Spider-Man?
have you guys seen?
That's a no.
That doesn't sound familiar.
Goodness.
So,
Come on, Kip.
did you guys see the? My son has told me about this. I haven't looked at it yet, but the new Black Noir Spider-Man series on
Spider-Man Noir? Yeah.
Spider-Man Noir. Yeah,
I was about to
that
say,
one.
is this a boys crossover?
Yeah, right. That was yeah. I make silly mistakes a lot. But yeah, that's the one. My son says it's really good.
I will have to check it
And
out.
they made
kind of like
they made like a
sideways
What's that?
Ghost Rider shout out in there.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Is it
somebody
because of
tells
Nick
Ben-
Cage?
Well, yeah, obviously. Someone's like,
Yeah,
"Go to hell,
nice.
Ben," and he's like, "I already have."
Cool.
Tree
So
Clam.
apparently they did everything in both black and white and in color. You can watch the
Cool.
whole series either in black and white or in color.
Why would you want to watch it in color? It's
I
noir.
don't know.
Yeah.
Right? It's noir.
Tree Clam Tat for $2 says, "All hail the pouch, Rob Liefeld's best character."
The lack of feet.
You
And his
know,
butter knife fingers. He always draws fingers like they're butter knives. It's so weird.
speaking of black and white, though, I do appreciate that Mouse PI for Hire has a section that is based on like the Yellow Brick Road set from The Wizard of Oz that is in color when the entire rest of the game is entirely black and white. And then you go through one door in the studio set in the studio level, and suddenly it's all bright Technicolor with bouncy flowers and whatnot. Also, I am also very, very much reminded of the complete and utter lack of media literacy among pretty much anyone who is a certain distance right of center, because a whole bunch of the chud types have been praising this game. It's like, you do realize that you're the bad guys in the game, right? Like, the game is about the mice who are rounding up the shrews who form an underclass within Mouseburg and grinding them up to use as energy to fuel their regime. You know, this is a game about you as the bad guys. I'm like, this is great. I'm like, okay, cool. Good to know that you have zero media literacy. Great. Anyway.
Yeah, that's never really been a strong point of theirs.
No, it hasn't. It's like when they discover that Rage Against the Machine aren't right-wingers. It's like, what did you...
Yeah, it's also one of those things where the boys pretty blatantly stated that this is a parody of America's far-right Christian nationalist takeover.
Mm-hmm.
And they were coming right out with it. And it wasn't until like season 3 or 4 where they just had to beat you over the face with it that conservatives were like, wait,
yeah,
hang on a minute.
Is this about me?
Hey, did you guys see the conclusion yet?
No. Shh.
No.
Okay. I'm not saying
My
anything.
cousin
That's why
already
I
spoiled
asked.
the thing, and I'm salty.
Oh my
but
god,
whatever.
really?
I know.
God
All right.
damn.
All right, no spoilers for the boys.
Listen, there's no spoilers, but I just want to say one thing. And this is just a superhero movie thing generally. It's irritating to me when superheroes are in some instances portrayed as invincible, and then in other instances it looks like they're totally just, not that hot shit. I'm just
what
saying
you're discovering
it's whatever the plot demands.
Yeah, you're discovering the existence of plot armor is what's going on right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. These are implausible stories.
Yeah. It's like when people are like, "Oh, this superhero comic book is unrealistic." It's like, "Oh, is it unrealistic?"
Oh, you know what?
The comic
No.
book about the flying man with laser vision is unrealistic? Okay.
It's way worse in the movies than in the TV shows than in the comic books. The comic books, I feel like...
I don't think so.
Okay.
All right. Well, Tree Clam Tat for
I don't
$5
think so.
says, if you haven't seen the video of the lead singer of the Circle Jerks calling out the MAGA chud at a show, you need to. And I think I might have, but I'm not positive.
Oh,
because I've definitely seen a
really?
few
I
videos
need to
of that
see
kind.
that.
All right. So Carl Kerby.
Listen,
those
all I
guys
wanna
must
say
be
about
those
that-
guys must be old as dust by now.
Listen, All I'm gonna say about that in terms of like musicians being anti-fascist is like way back in the day, this is one of those low fidelity VHS quality clips on YouTube if you want to go find it, is Lane Staley, the late singer of Alice in Chains, seeing a guy in the audience give a Nazi salute, and he stops the show, jumps off stage, and beats the brakes off that guy.
Good.
Which is the correct response to
It
seeing
is.
people do Nazi salutes in your audience. Just saying.
Mhm. All right, so Carl Kerby was telling us how amazing it is, essentially, that the Morrison formation extends from Montana into Alberta, which, like, yeah, it does.
Okay.
And then he seems to think
And?
that means that the entire Morrison formation is the record of a single event, and that every single organism preserved in it died at the same time, more or less at the same day. Which there is absolutely no reason to think that that's the case. Like, that's just a thing that creationists made up. There's no one in actual paleontology is suggesting that that's a plausible scenario for the Morrison formation. Like, oh, did I say Morrison? I might have meant Lance. Either way, the organisms he was talking about were specifically Hell Creek, so we'll just say Hell Creek and be done with it.
Okay.
But yeah, all the big fossil formations in like the world, they don't represent a single day. There are parts of them that represent single events, like you'll get a flood washout that has some animals that all died in that flood. But then there will be other animals that just like died and that washed out to sea, or were covered in like a sea slump or like a minor landslide or something like that. There you go. So yeah, I don't know why he's amazed by this, but let's hear what else he's got for us.
That's a massive amount of animals that were covered up. Local flood does not explain that. Maybe we have another
the video.
He is right. It doesn't. A local flood does not explain the entirety of the Hell Creek formation, because not all of it's a flood deposit in the first place.
explanation. But what we see from the world in almost every dinosaur book that you're ever going to get is something along this lines. You know, a long time ago, millions of years ago, you had nothing. Then that nothing exploded and became...
No, so he's here parroting the
Wow.
Big Bang.
That's no.
The Big Bang doesn't.
Wow.
So actually, a poll not that long ago, I think like early this year, came out of physicists asking them like their responses to certain questions, and one of them was, "Do you think that the Big Bang started with a singularity or with nothing?" And the vast majority of physicists say no to both of those. So most physicists say that there was no singularity, and that the Big Bang did not start with nothing. So nothing exploded is wrong on every count.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, look, the best we have right now is I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And
there's nothing wrong with that. Science does this a lot.
But Carl
we don't
will say,
know, so we keep looking until we think maybe we have an idea. And then we refine the idea based on more evidence, and they're like, I don't know. I think we still need to keep looking, and that's what we do.
But Carl will tell you that no. Instead of keep looking, you should just say, God, close the book.
That's no
and
God
go
of the
do
gaps. You
something
can't call
else.
that.
became something, and then the hydrogen gas transformed itself into this and transformed itself into that. And
What?
He's saying transformed itself as if nuclear fusion in stars is not very well established. Like, Carl, what?
The hydrogen just into helium.
Yeah. Doc Dino for $5 says, Morrison, I hardly know him. Nice. Also, in the one Morrison member I worked in, there were like 5 depositional environments, lakes, rivers, dunes, etc. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not all just one flood deposit. Most of it isn't even flood deposits.
Did you guys know
Hey,
that Doc Dino was on my
Good
channel?
news, everyone.
I did?
Yeah.
Good
He's gonna
news,
come back.
everyone.
What's the good
Oh,
news?
sorry.
X-Men 97 confirmed for a
Sorry,
4th
David
season
Lynch.
on Disney Plus.
Wait, what is?
What was?
X-Men 97 confirmed to get a 4th season.
Oh.
Whoop, whoop.
Oh,
I did hear
Yep.
that. Nice.
nice.
Hell yeah.
All right.
given enough time, right circumstances, what we actually saw was nothing turned into this little strand of DNA.
Oh,
Wrong.
he's skipping from the Big Bang to DNA. Okay, cool. Hey, you know, if I take any long process that takes a while and involves a lot of steps, and I cut from the beginning to the end, it sounds ridiculous. Like if I said, oh, you've got all these rocks in the ground, and then they just turn into a car, that seems crazy. And yet, technically, if you cut out all the middle steps between mining the ore and assembling the finished car, that is basically a summary of how you get a car. The fact that it sounds silly if you only include the very beginning of the story and some part way towards the end, it doesn't actually make it ridiculous. That's just a dishonest rhetorical strategy, right? Like, I'm sure that if Carl heard me describe his religion as, well, you know, there were some guys in a boat, and then later some Jewish teacher guy was supposed to come back from the dead, and now here's Carl, he'd probably consider that to be a ridiculous straw man of Christianity. I don't know. What do you guys think? You think he would consider that to be a straw man of his religion?
People don't like it when you do that.
Yeah. And you know what? They shouldn't, because that's not a fair representation of what they believe in their practice and the important aspects of their holy book or their history or anything like that. And so, yeah, when you do that, it's just kind of you being a dick.
Hello?
I put a very, very adorable, cute, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die kitten video in the chat.
You're taking people away from my video, Vishanti?
They don't have to watch it right now. I'm just putting it there so they can watch it later.
Okay.
It's just a clip.
Okay.
Somebody's socializing their kitten and they're reading to it, so it's very cute.
With that. You should have a massive problem with that.
I do have a massive problem with that, Carl, but it's a massive problem with how you're describing it. Because it's not that we went from nothing to an explosion to hydrogen to DNA. There were billions of years of star formation, galaxy formation, stellar nucleosynthesis in supernovae. There was gravitational collapse. Then there was not billions, but hundreds of millions of years worth of chemical processes on Earth that assembled things like autocatalytic cycles and doing things like system chemistry, wet-dry cycling to, get racemization ratios to be more consistently left-handed or right-handed, depending on the molecule. All of these things are processes that you're skipping over. And when you skip over them, yeah, it sounds silly. But when you actually include all the steps, it doesn't sound so silly anymore. I was in reactor power school, right, in the Navy. They were trying to explain, how does a control rod work, right? Because the control rods are just full of what's called poison, which basically just means it absorbs neutrons. And the ultimate effect is when you pull the control rods up, temperature in the reactor goes up. When you push them in, temperature goes down. But to get there, you have to go through a logical chain that is 8 or 9 steps long about what neutrons do, how that affects criticality, and all of these things, including things like what is increasing or decreasing temperature due to this cross-section of neutron absorption of the water versus the uranium, and all of these steps to get you to the end. And there were a lot of people who took a very long time to get to the idea that you can say, rod go up, temperature go up. It took a very long time for them to get all the way through, and they had to go through the steps many, many times to figure out that that's actually what happened. But at every step of the way, usually those same people were like, well, yeah, I get how, you pull the rod up, therefore there are more neutrons around because fewer of them are absorbed by the control rod. I get that. And you have to go through the steps. Skipping to the end doesn't make the chain wrong. It doesn't make it stupid, even if you don't understand it. Let's see.
Hey, Dapper.
Yes.
Well, first of all, Atomic Squirrel, I just really don't think that was that long a digression, for real. But Dapper, have you ever seen the HBO miniseries Chernobyl?
I have not actually gone through all of it, no.
You should watch it. We should watch it, you guys. It's so good. But in the last episode, and it's one of my that last episode is so good. But they spend like a long time. It feels like quite an extended period of time just basically explaining nuclear fission.
Yeah.
And it's pretty, like, because I mean, this shit is complicated.
Are you trying to sell me on this series or dissuade me from this series?
No,
Why?
we need to watch
because
it.
you need to watch it. This would dissuade you from the series?
Well,
the explanation.
it sounds
of
like a
nuclear
whole.
fission?
It sounds a lot like the reason that people said that I should watch the military channel documentary about aircraft carriers. And the more they told me about how in depth it went into
right,
aircraft
okay.
carriers, the more I was like, I don't ever want to see this.
Yeah, no, I don't want to see that. Okay.
No,
Ooh.
I
I want to
Yeah.
read John Rapp super chat.
Okay, well, let's get Sydney Raptor super chat, and it's related to chat in first before we do that one.
Yes, that's what I want to read.
Oh, okay, go for it.
Okay, so my birthday twin, John Rapp, aka Sydney Raptor, for $2 dues, writes, "What Rashina wants to say. Check chat, please." Or, well, I think today. Anyway, Rashina says, I just wanted to say singularities are a myth created by math people, but also, yeah. G'day, birthday
I'm
twin.
famously good at math.
Yes, you are, Kip. And you know, Kip, I sent you a video that was vector math for dummies, but I don't think you even watched it.
I got through a minute and a half of it.
Wow.
Wow.
So now you know
So
vector math?
I will finish it at some point.
Okay. If I asked you to add 2 vectors, could you do it?
Not right now.
Okay.
I'm
if
busy.
I ask you what a vector
Oh.
is, could you tell me what a vector
Oh.
is?
Yes, it's a point in like a 3-dimensional space, and it gets numbers assigned to it based on its location in that
It's way simpler than
3-dimensional
this.
space. Oh.
Way simpler.
But I'm not wrong, am I?
What you're describing is a vector, but there are many things that
Yes,
are not what you're
good.
describing that
Thank
are
you.
Let
also
him have
vectors.
this.
Yes.
Just let
I
him
was
have
right.
this.
It's like saying, what's a mammal?
I was thinking
and
of
he's-
vectors in like virology, and I was like, oh, this is one of the ways that viruses spread.
Well, it's
That's
kind of
not
like
what this
asking,
is.
like, Kip, what is an animal? And he starts describing specifically an elephant. And it's like, well, elephants are animals, but there are many animals that aren't that, and that also are
Bless your
animals.
heart.
So a vector is basically just a collection of more than one numbers. And we usually think about them as points in space.
Oh.
But fundamentally, they are
fine.
just a collection
Okay,
of numbers
fine.
from
Fine.
2 numbers or more. And they can get to 5, 8, 24 sets of numbers. You can have a 24-dimensional vector.
Read.
It's fine.
That
Medicated
feels
super chat.
pedantic and like unnecessarily.
You know who you're talking to,
pedantic
right?
In the way that
Dapper's
I
more
would,
pedantic than me, and I'm
It's
very
true.
pedantic.
Metageeky Platypus Librarian for $5 says, U.S. history. Guys threw tea in a harbor, and then atoms were split over Japan, and the UFC fought at the White House with a series of trans and pride flags.
Transpire. Yeah.
Mhm.
Also,
good.
Tree Clam Tad responds to you and says, Dapper, Chernobyl was kind of bad about atomic science, but it's good at showing how the
Oh.
flailing corpse of the Soviet Union was bad at things, which is true.
They
Very
certainly
good
were.
at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
That accident was largely due to bureaucratic negligence
Mhm.
rather than just, oh my god, nuclear scary.
well, that's all nuclear accidents, with one exception. The only exception I can think of that's probably not just bureaucratic nonsense was when the Army was trying to make a portable nuclear reactor for fueling like forward bases that they were going to build. And
What's a forward base?
so basically, when you go invade someplace and you need to set up a quick place for like soldiers
Oh.
to like
Okay.
sleep, rest, store equipment,
it.
that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So they wanted to have these man-portable nuclear reactors. And I just wanted you to think about how stupid the phrase man-portable nuclear reactor is. Okay.
How would I mean? Well, hold on though. That like they put them in submarines.
Yeah, that's a submarine portable reactor. Man-portable means a man can pick it up and move it. The reactors in submarines are
right.
not man-portable.
No, they're
Um,
because then you would have to. So how? Wait a minute. Like, because then you would have to like once you would have to be able to move the
Mhm.
reactor, and then when you got it into place, how would you? Because then you have to like because you can't just keep it out in the open, right?
Yeah.
So what do you do then? Like
You erect a shelter around it.
that must be some
I
kind
mean,
of
the-
goddamn shelter.
The Army Corps of Engineers can construct like a cinder block building overnight, like no problem.
yeah,
Wow.
they're really efficient.
They're
at this kind of thing.
extremely good. In fact,
Wow.
actually, a lot of the
Okay.
like the construction efforts in the United States that are like matters of public safety, where like lots of people could die if this doesn't get done right, end up being
Mhm.
oversawn or just done by the Army Corps of Engineers. Usually, or
Yeah.
often in conjunction with the Seabees, which is basically the Navy and the Marine Corps version of the Army Corps of Engineers. They're extremely good at their jobs. I'm
Okay.
not a huge fan of the U.S. military overall, but I cannot say that they are not very good at their jobs. So anyway, this
You have some more super chats.
I know I will get to them after the story. So basically, the Army's testing this, and the way that their control rods work is you just grab them with a handle with your hand, and you pull up or push down on them. And one day during maintenance on the test reactor, someone pulled up too quickly, which caused a flash criticality, which flashed a whole bunch of the coolant water to steam, which then caused all the control rods to shoot out, including the one this guy was working on, which then impaled him and stuck him to the ceiling of the building. And then it was decided that maybe having man-portable reactors with hand-drawn control rods was a really stupid idea. Because, yeah, it totally was a really stupid idea. All right, we got a few super chats here. Let's see. Oh, what? Come on. There we go. Tree Clam Tad. Volcanoes. Oh, no, I read that one. Noise ending for $5 says, a vector, as we know, is 3 floats in a trench coat. AIG is a bag of Oilers. Thank you very much. Yeah, I did say during one of my art streams that a vector is just 3 scalars in a trench coat, which in Blender is usually true because vectors are usually 3D.
Oh, wow. Noise ending is trying to suck up to me now. I see.
Tree Clam Tad for $2
Tree
says,
Clam Tad for $2 says the Demon Core would like a word.
I mean, that's fair, yeah. Although, I guess when
Yeah.
I think of nuclear accidents, I think of like reactors that were there for like
Yeah, like the giant reactor.
going, and like the Demon Core doesn't feel like that to me, even though I know that it actually is a nuclear reactor. Like it totally is. It meets every definition that you could throw at it.
Man.
It just feels different. It has different vibes. So yeah, you're right.
That story always gets me because I'm like, this is something a neurodivergent would do. Like, let me just prop this open using the wrong tool, and then it closes, and you're like, welp.
I'm dead.
Yep, we're all dead.
Yep. Kerry Bronson for $10 says, Dapper is precise, not pedantic. He doesn't make corrections that
Oh, he is
that
pedantic.
add no understanding, but only allow him to assert superiority over someone. Pedantry isn't intelligence, it's insecurity. I will say this, I am sometimes pedantic. I try to be precise more frequently, but like pedantry happens.
It do.
Rusty Longshanks for $9.99 says, man portable nuclear reactor. Just from that phrase, I am reminded of the scene in the Old Testament where God melted a guy who adjusted the ark while transporting it on a cart.
Yes.
Yeah, basically.
Yes. It started, they weren't supposed to be carrying it on a cart to begin with. It has little rings.
Nobody melted.
You put rods in it and carry
Yeah,
it.
it seems more
And
like
then-
he had a heart attack.
And
just-
then
yeah,
it,
it just- it
starts
died.
to
It
tip
says
off.
he
He's
died.
like, oh no, and he puts up his hand to stabilize it.
Okay,
it's
but
like,
Kip,
hey,
it doesn't
they,
say
they
he.
weren't supposed to be transporting it that way.
It doesn't say he didn't melt.
There's a perfectly good way to say he melted.
But
In Hebrew, and it
does-
doesn't say that.
It doesn't say he didn't either.
It says he died.
Yeah.
It says he touched it and he died.
I'm just saying melting would kill you.
I'm just saying that that did not happen.
Well, the whole
in the-
story
in
didn't
the
happen.
text.
Kip.
This is look. This is like arguing with Michael Jones right here.
Ah,
This is
Oh,
exactly
take
what
that
this
back.
is like.
We're just doing this in good fun. Michael Jones is being like somewhat malicious in many cases.
Fair.
There's a
Okay,
big difference
that's
there.
fair.
yes.
That's fair.
Tree
But
Clam.
it's like that.
I'm just saying that in my head canon of what happened in the story of the
Okay.
Bible, I can have a guy melt and
It's
you
a
can't stop
It's
me.
a possible thing.
Yeah.
It's a possible thing that happened. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Tree Clam Tat for $5 says, vibes-based nuclear safety is how you get a demon core. Correct. This is the most American stream ever, Godzilla. Okay, I want to be very
Yeah.
clear, though. I was a nuclear operator in a American-run nuclear power plant and propulsion plant. We absolutely did not go off of vibes. We absolutely did not. We have very strict procedures and very strict set points and logging requirements, and like we definitely were doing everything very much by the book. Anyway, I'm gonna hit play because Carl's
Buffaloed
here.
Scientist adds, hey Dapper, in the original Klingon it says melted.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Kip, you're just going off of the stupid Hebrew translation from the original Klingon, so
Okay.
Klingon priority is clearly correct.
Listen, guys. I was on Bad Science Sunday 2 weeks ago talking about the Ark of the Covenant, and this came up because we were doing that Chariots of the Gods guy. Ben Bannock.
God.
What's his first name?
Yeah,
Eric von Daniken.
Eric von Daniken, yeah. So I had to. I just had to spend like 3 hours, correcting the record of bullshit about the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's in Ethiopia, right?
Yes, that's part of it. That was
Okay.
part of von Daniken's whole thing.
All right, Kip.
So,
I don't want any explanation. I don't want any
mhm.
tangent on it. I just want a number from 0 to 100 with a percent after it. What do you think the chances are that the Ark of the Covenant is actually in a church in Ethiopia?
1%.
1. I was
Okay.
gonna say 1.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah.
All right, here's Carl.
Give you just one nugget. A lot of hard
There's always
drive
a
computer.
chance.
Anybody got a computer in here? Anybody?
Anybody get a computer? You guys got
Okay.
computers?
Out of the entire planet.
Did you notice that not everybody raised their hand? That's the most amazing thing about this video
Well,
so
yeah,
far.
there's
Do you
blinkers
have
in
a
the audience.
computer and not everyone raised their hand? Where is he?
He's in a church full of old people.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a church full of boomers.
My
Yeah,
parents.
in the chat, Chris
My
Decker
parents
says
are-
Demon Core leads to let's not do it like that again, leads to procedures.
Fear of the
My
blurry.
parents are-
Sorry.
My parents are in their 80s,
Mhm.
and they both have multiple computers,
Okay, I'm
and
also
they're bad at them.
Kip. I'm going to say something now, which is that having a computer is also a matter of social class. Not everyone can afford to have an actual desktop computer.
A phone
Yeah.
is a computer.
But
Phones are different.
none of these people are going to raise their hand to say they have a computer if what they actually have is a
Okay,
smartphone.
fine.
Yeah,
Right.
That's not. Yeah.
Fear-
Do you think? Yes, I will own that, and that you're right about that. But do you think that do you think social class is really the issue here at this church?
Well, I already
Where
mentioned
he
age,
is.
and I
Um,
think the intersection of age and social class could, in fact, be part of the explanation.
Mm,
Because while the church
Okay.
looks fairly well put together, lots of people who are relatively low, in the lower classes, go to churches that are evangelical, non-denominational Protestant churches, which is what this looks like. I know because
There's a
I'm.
word that you haven't said directly, but we're hinting at it in its intersectionality.
Mhm, Yep.
touche. My apologies.
So one of the things is what we hear about in the news are all the very, well-to-do, politically connected aspects of evangelical Christianity, but they themselves are supported by a grassroots of primarily poor people. So, Fear the Blurry Potato says, which is a very strange question because I don't know how to answer it because it assumes that I'm not, and yet I am. So I'm not sure what you mean. Do you mean Dahajmocho? Did you forget a suffix there? Maybe? I don't know. Let me know. Okay, here we go. Here's Carl.
I think there's a lot of hard drive computers with hard drives. Do you think there's a lot of storage space?
I think most
you-
of them
Yeah,
are drives,
It's-
bud.
look, I have lived in a house that had a computer that had no hard drive. And you only had the gigantic floppy disks, and you had to you had to put a different one in every time you wanted to change programs. I feel like that's not most of us. Oh, that question was for Kip.
And
Oh, okay. Well, also, My Unfinished Talk for $5 says, don't melt with radioactive arc, like and share the stream instead. And, okay, so, Kip, the question for you is,
I don't understand this nonsense, mate. This nonsense fake language.
it means, why don't you learn Klingon?
Because it's a
the
nonsense
same reason
fake language.
the reason I don't want to.
Yeah. Just what's the point?
Because then you would understand Fearmonger when he says things like that.
That's okay. I'll be fine.
Why don't you learn Nahuatl with me? Because I've got literally that free course just sitting there that we could go through at any time.
Okay, I want to point out that in about the last year,
Mhm.
you have not once said, hey, let's do a Nahuatl lesson.
Hey, remember that time that your girl has ADHD and I forget things?
Okay, but I
Unless
cannot remember
reminded?
all the things for you, and if it's a goal that you have, Like, it's a stronger goal for you than it is for me. And I will do lessons with you if you want to, but I'm not going to remember to prompt you to do that thing. It's just not going to happen. I care less.
Boo.
Sorry. I
Well,
cannot.
if anybody else wants to learn Nawat with me, there's a free course. I have the link to it. I can't do this by myself because I will forget. So it looks like Fearmonger wants to participate.
You should set an
So
alarm,
cool.
and we could do a group thing in the Discord server.
Yeah.
Ian
Thanks,
Kiambi, who's been a member
Kinky.
for 5 months, thank you, Kip, is at the Amniote level, says, "Hi everyone, hi Vishanti. What's your favorite instrument to use for music?"
What genre of music?
I think of
Because
all of
those
them.
are going to be wildly different answers.
What's your favorite instrument to use to play your favorite genre of music?
Genre.
Say triangle.
No.
That was funny.
Yeah, Ian can't. You're gonna have to specify what genre because that answer does vary wildly.
All right, Tree Clam Tat for $2 says the only conlang worth learning is Ultra French. That's probably true.
Oh
That is probably true.
God.
And hey, we're
So
almost at the halfway
cursed.
point to the super chats.
If you were to
Yes,
combine
Rashina.
all
That is exactly what Dapper just said.
of the storage space on all of the hard drives and the entire planet, do you think that's a lot of storage?
Yes.
Do you know how much DNA it would take to hold every bit of data on every computer hard drive in this entire planet? Do you know how much DNA it would take to hold all that?
I don't think that you actually have a number for this, Carl, because that number, your target number, changes constantly, which means the answer to this would change constantly. So I don't know that you actually have an answer to this, but also I'm sure it's going to be some small number, and you're going to compare it to a big number, and then therefore, what? So now what?
Big numbers, Dapper.
A couple of hundred
It's the
pounds
most
of
convincing
DNA.
argument.
A couple hundred pounds is an
Couple
enormous amount
hundred
of
pounds.
DNA. Jeez.
DNA. Yeah.
Like a swimming pool of DNA. What are we talking? What is going
Really?
on? I'm taking a drink. This is the dumbest thing. Guys, if you filled an Olympic-sized swimming pool with DNA, that would be like so much data storage. Yeah, no shit, man. What is happening?
Wow, it's like remember when we were going through yet another documentary on the Gilgo Beach killer, and it's like they got what 92 terabytes or something like that of data off this dude's hard drive. It's like, yeah, you guilty as fuck.
Yeah, and most of it is
That's
just
a lot.
badly spelled confessions, essentially.
This guy was he would have been caught so quickly if it weren't for corruption of the local police. Where have we heard that before?
Yeah, never. Yeah. Oh well. Hey, you know what's even more fun is when
we can't investigate these killings. They'll find out that our police chief is soliciting hookers.
my favorite thing is when
Okay.
the police catch the killer, everyone knows he's the killer, and then killer gets off anyway. That's my favorite one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love when they catch a victim who is escaping, the process of being killed, and they're like, "Well, we're really homophobic, so we're just going to give you back."
Yeah, that happened in Jeffrey Dahmer case. But hey, on the bright side
Yep.
of the 3 people I know who have been murdered, all of them have had those cases solved. Now, to be fair, they weren't hard to solve cases, but they were. So,
Good.
yeah. Well, it turns out if you stab a guy at a bar, it's really easy to catch you.
I think a lot of people probably saw you do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Turns out.
So, yeah, a Navy buddy of mine got stabbed at a bar, and
Yeah.
the guy didn't even get a chance to run away because, he was in a
Jeez.
crowded bar. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other guy who got stabbed, the guy who stabbed him was on camera at a 7-Eleven, which is also a really bad idea. Yeah.
Again, yeah, bad idea.
Yep. That one sucks because it was just like, my friend was stabbed for not knowing English well enough. Yeah. Because he'd arrived in the United States recently after leaving a lucrative career as a jeweler in Syria to go live with his son and wife and his stepdaughter, and he was getting a job at 7-Eleven to help him through the transition while he was doing things like learning English and trying to find employment at a jewel cutting place here in the US. So that's fun. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Land of the free, baby.
Yeah.
Squee!
Tree Clam Tad for $2 says, big number, therefore pool, therefore Cthulhu. Yes. Sorry if that got dark, everybody. My apologies. I'm going to hit play.
That's how efficient your DNA is. We can't create anything like that. And you're going to tell me, with all of our wisdom,
I mean, we can literally create DNA with arbitrary sequences. So I'm just going to take a drink for him just lying. That's not true at all. Humans can and do create DNA. Actually, it's hard to do from the sense of developing the technology, but now that we can do it, you can basically just do it with a computer and the right machinery, and you press the button, and out comes your DNA.
and all of
See,
our
that proves you need intelligence.
Yeah.
things that we've made, and the computers, and look, Apple computers, yes, they definitely require there was an intelligence. PC, maybe that could
I
happen
knew
by
it.
chance, but
Drink for confirmed prediction.
You didn't actually say the prediction, but I'll drink for it anyway.
I didn't hear the prediction either.
This is their whole thing. It's like, oh, if we can't do it, they're like, see, it's something God has power to do, only humans can't do it, therefore God. But then if humans do it, they're like, see, it required intelligence, therefore God.
Tree Clam Ted
Yes.
says, thanks for rolling straight from that story to my joke super chat I sent before you started telling it. So look, I know that the stories are pretty dark, but like this has been a part of my life for like the better part of 2 decades at this point. So like, to me, it sucks, but like it's just a part of my life story, and I can roll into a joke about it because like, what else can I do, right? I don't know. Although I do remember
Humans have been coping with gallows humor for a very, very long time.
I do remember it wasn't actually that long ago that Kip found out that I had known people who'd been murdered, and that the number was 3, whereas almost everyone else I've ever met, the number is 0. Yeah, it's kind of shitty. I've been super unlucky.
1.
Yeah, 1. It feels weird to be jealous of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm jealous of people who have a 0.
Yeah.
But it's like, this happened when I was in high school. A kid who sat in our little eccentric outcast goth, like, alt kid corner. He didn't engage with us much, but he sat there sometimes. He, for many reasons, got into jealousy about his older brother, who was like the popular jock, and he ended up murdering him and burying him in the backyard.
Yikes. Jeez.
Yeah, that was a whole thing.
And Anani says 1, and Tree Clam Tad says 2. Well, I'm sorry. It sucks.
Yeah. I wish this number were 0 for everyone.
Yep, it would be a lot better.
you just can't go there when you got Apple involved in it.
Oh, that reminds me. You know, every once in a while I talk about the various religious services I've been to. The first time I ever went to an Eastern Orthodox liturgical service was, in fact, one of those funerals for one of those people.
Really?
It was the guy from Syria. Yep.
Oh, that reminds me, because you've told me about the cats that will frequently be found in Orthodox churches. My buddy went to take his kitty to the vet today, and he found an entire, as he described it, becassocked friar taking his own kitty in.
Good.
And someone explained, like, yeah, that's probably the parish cat.
Yeah, the parish cat. Good. And I'm glad that cat is being well taken care of, because parish cats are often beloved animals. So, you know. In fact, there was one parish cat I met whose favorite place was the bishop's throne, and no one in the church had any problem with that cat taking up the bishop's throne, because they figured as long as the bishop's not here, that's the closest thing we've got. So there he is.
That's the cat's rightful place.
Okay, I'm just saying. But all of this data on the entire planet would fit in a couple of hundred. That's a secular quote. A couple of 100 pounds of DNA.
Okay.
This is one of the most amazing storage systems in the world. And you're telling me that nothing turned into that?
No, I'm not. No one's telling you that.
One of the most, wow.
But anyway, let me give it to you. And then given
in the world.
Yeah.
Enough
I
time
mean,
that
I
thing
can
turned
fit
into this
DNA
thing.
inside one of my cells. Get good. Who
Turn
cares,
into
man?
that thing to turn into this thing. And voila, given enough time, right circumstances.
I love how he's like talking about this with incredulity, while displaying a number of actual fossil forms which meet predicted morphologies that were predicted based on evolution before they were actually found, that actually do lead to primates, because the last thing he's showing us is Purgatorius, our earliest known primate, Like, my guy, you're showing the reason you're wrong.
This looks, yeah, like this looks
know what the
as somebody
chances of this
who
happening are?
comes into this from the
100%.
outside and doesn't know this stuff very well. This looks very convincing. Like, this looks convincing to me. This makes sense to me. So-
Megan Fox's giant boo says, "Make that cat the bishop. They've earned it." Cats are a little bit too violent to actually officially become bishops. One of the things. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm thinking. Sorry,
It's
I'm
a
thinking
valuable
of
service.
Israelite priests.
Yeah. So officially, in an Eastern Orthodox church, no one is supposed to shed blood inside of the church. That includes injuries. If you're injured, you should be rushed out unless it's unsafe to do so.
Right. Outside of the church, you're okay shedding the blood.
Well, it's not forbidden according to ecclesiastical laws, but there's usually some kinds of like secular laws, and there's rules against murder in the like Eastern churches. So like, doesn't make it okay, but like it's sometimes justified in cases of like third-party defense or self-defense or something like that, because Eastern Christians aren't generally pacifists, but cats will kill things inside the church.
Yeah, that's kind of why they're there.
Yeah.
So
not allowed to be bishop.
Also, I think it would be a not smart idea to keep cats in Israelite culture because of like the little dangly bells on the priest's outfit. And also,
but I was also
cats love playing with
I was also just thinking they would actually fit very well into ancient Israelite culture, because murderous priests is a thing. It's kind of a badge of honor.
Levites.
You got the amphibian that came out of the land to turn into a rat, to turn into a wolf-like animal, to turn.
Wait, where's the wolf-like animal? Which one is wolf-like?
So an amphibian to turn into a cat?
Yeah, I don't see the cat.
He said?
No, he said rat. I think he said rat.
A rat.
Yeah, he said rat.
So there are no rats here.
Sorry,
there are also no cats or what is he talking about?
That little guy on the bottom left kind of looks like a rat.
I mean, it looks more like a shrew.
Or a mole. A shrew. Yeah, I was like,
It looks the most like a shrew. And the only reason to think it looks like anything besides a shrew is if you just aren't familiar with shrews, which, to be fair, I find most people that I meet are not familiar with what shrews actually look like. Because most people have never seen one.
It's also not it's not a great picture.
No, it's not.
So.
Turn around and go back into the ocean to become a whale. We're going to talk about that tonight.
Listen,
do you know?
I will not have this guy besmirching Pachycetus.
Which also isn't in this picture, because this is a picture leading up to primates. So it's weird that he's picking a different lineage.
What that looks like.
Josh Wiggins for $5 says, "New school mascot, the Fightin' Friars." Yeah, so actually, my actual high school mascot was the Crusaders, and that's a weird and uncomfortable thing.
Did you go to an especially religious school?
I went to a Catholic school in high school.
Oh, okay.
My mascot, I didn't appreciate it until a little later in life, but they were the Hornets.
Hornets is actually not bad. I like Hornets.
I like that.
If you're going to pick a mascot, Hornets are mean.
At least it wasn't the Marble Hornets.
Ours was the Falcons.
Oh, Falcons. That's cool.
That's not bad. Yeah, it was the Crusaders, and the actual image was a guy with a on a horse in plate armor, and the horse was in barding, and then on a shield was basically an English cross. It was a red cross on a white field.
What?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, during the times of the Crusades, that is when the English monarch got the title of Fidei Defensor.
That's fair.
So,
That's fair.
So yeah, that was I actually don't know if that's still the mascot of that school. But it was the mascot when I was there, and it was a little odd. But then again, Catholic schools tend to have that kind of thing. So,
yeah.
Did you go to public school, Vish? I went to public school.
Oh yeah, I absolutely went to public school.
Yeah,
Podunk, Alabama.
I think
I had actually good teachers though.
My parents put me and my two of my siblings through that Catholic school, and it involved a lot of we'll just say this: we did not have a terribly varied diet at home, and we did not take very many vacations that were any place other than the place my grandmother owned, where we didn't have to pay to rent that place. We could just be there for free.
I will say this: my high school biology teacher, she was adamantly against young Earth creationism, and I remember this is when I was, deep into the Kent Hovind nonsense. I somehow discovered like a young earth creationist book or something on one of her like shelves. And I was like, look, I found this thing. Can you talk to us about it? She was like, take that home. I don't want that crap. So,
Oh yeah, you told me that story.
at the time I was like, I can't believe, but I look back on that now and I'm like, yes, good teacher. Thank you.
Tree Clam Tad for $2 says, shoes are what hedgehogs look like without the spikes. That is kind of true.
Cruise.
So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to drop a Steam key. Now, to get this Steam key, you do not have to have super chatted. You don't have to be a member. You don't have to be a patron. You just have to be here and quick. And the only requirement after you use it is that you tell me whether or not it worked. This is for Inquisitor Martyr, which is an action RPG set in the Warhammer 40k universe. You play as an Inquisitor in the Holy Ordos of the Emperor's Inquisition, in case that wasn't obvious. So here it is. Remember, you just have to be fast and be willing to tell me whether or not it worked. And there it is. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back after this musical interlude. And we are back, but I did misclick a little bit, so we do have a Dapper's a Professional drink. Sorry about that, everybody. Before we actually start off with the after the break quick commercial, I want to say I want help from the panel. I just got a text. Hi, Timothy. On a 1 to 10 scale, where 1 is very unfavorable and 10 is very favorable, what is your opinion of the Democratic Party?
0.
Well, so the thing is that I am comparing it to other parties, and it is not 0 compared to all the other parties. So I think I'm going to leave them a 3.
Okay.
I think that adequately explains how much I dislike the Democratic Party, which is, like I said, it's not as low as it is for some other parties. All right, I sent them a 3. Some people are 0, -5. Yeah, I have to grade them on a curve, though. And that curve is other American political parties. And also the fact that this machine will not accept anything other than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. Thank you for your response. We only have one more question. What is your opinion of the Republican Party? A, very unfavorable. B, favorable. C, neither favorable nor unfavorable. D, unfavorable. E, very unfavorable. So I'm going to go with E and send that off. So there we go.
Wait, what are we doing?
Thank you for your time. That is the end of our survey.
Oh, okay.
I took a survey. All right. Just now. It came in
I never take
as a
surveys.
text while I was off putting ice in my cup.
Ooh.
So, all right, now that we
right.
are back, I do want to say thank you so much to everyone who has super chatted. It really is important to the channel. We are only 24 away from the next Steam key drop, which, by the way, did anyone get that Steam key? Because I'm not seeing anyone. So at me if you did get it and it worked. Especially if it worked. If it didn't work, I mean, at me about that too. D-Wing says, why 2 different scales? I believe it is 2 different scales, so you actually have to think about what you're entering in. You can't just do it automatically. I believe that's it. I don't actually know, though. Anyway, so yes, thank you so much. This channel is, in fact, entirely supported directly by you guys, and it has become tough to do everything, whether it be go get groceries or even afford Super Chats. So everyone who does Super Chat, I greatly appreciate it. And if you want to support the channel and you want to do it financially, there are a few different ways. The first one is the Patreon. That's where I get to keep the most of the money that I get from most of my income streams. It starts at $1 a month. It has a 15% discount if you go annually. There's the channel memberships that starts at $1.99. Both of them have higher tiers. These are all US prices. They both give you access to my Discord server where we're going to be watching some Star Trek later. Where they both give you early access to videos. One came out just this past week. I'm hoping to have another one out hopefully next week, but like maybe not. I don't know. So yeah, there's a lot of great perks there. There's also a merch store, and also I do still have a wish list. It has migrated from Amazon to Throne because Amazon has started to just give out people's addresses unless you're very, very, very careful. And I don't mean your addresses. I mean my address. And like, I know I would be safe with your address, and I'm very certain that all of you would actually be safe with my address. However, I don't know that for a fact, and because it would be public and anyone could get it, I can't be safe and have a Amazon wish list. So unfortunately, it is on Throne, which does actually cost a little bit extra if you get anything from there for me. But there are still a lot of things on there. If you do want to get me just a quick little thing, everything from like, you know, $4 worth of spam all the way to like, you know, $160 if you want to get me cool twin collector's edition RPG books about the Adeptus Mechanicus, which I would very, very much appreciate. And actually, I think Vish might appreciate it too, because I would definitely share some of that Mechanicus stuff with her. Sorry.
Yeah, I still have my wish list on Amazon mostly because I am a little less stringent about people having my address for now. But also, it's just like, look, I at this point, considering ICE and its over year-long occupation in my city, other random people on the internet having my address is kind of low on that list of priorities.
That's fair. That is fair.
So,
Tree Clam Tat for $2 says, you should support yourself by selling Lego.
Jeez.
Wow. You know what I should really do is I should take Legos on consignment and then close my shop and go sell them to other people and keep all the money. That's what I should really do.
Oh, capitalism, isn't it?
No, technically that's actually not allowed under capitalism. Technically, officially.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing
I
is
see.
capitalism officially is actually not supposed to do things like that.
I guess maybe this
Well-
this is a good illustration of how much many people misunderstand capitalism.
Well, it is certainly the case that there are things that the people who are capitalists in a intellectual sense were like, I am describing a system called capitalism that is how I would like the economy to function. Not everything that currently happens in this economy is things that those people would approve of. So
Yes.
But then on the other hand, if we say, okay, well, I don't like the current economic setup, and it's generally considered to be a capitalist setup, and I don't like that, it is fair to say that means you don't like capitalism, even if what you're describing is not exactly what like Murray Rothbard would have as his ideal economy.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, this is not Murray Rothbard's ideal economy. We do not live in that world. So
Correct. I will also say that it's funny to me in an ironic sense that like during the height of the pandemic, there were actual food lines for people because, grocery stores and supply chains were impacted by the pandemic and stuff. That people were posting screenshots going, "This is life under capitalism or communism," and I'm like, "Buddy, this is literally a capitalist
US
country.
right
What are you
now.
talking about?"
Dengo Paiv for €5 says, I respect your high standards. AIG is a sack of inappropriate flagpoles. They sure are. I'll take a drink to that. Also, I'm not seeing anyone who has either got or had the Steam key not work. Please let me know. I will post it one more time, just so if no one grabbed it, you can try to grab it now.
Yeah, Buffaloed Scientist writes no true capitalism.
Okay, but the thing is, I cannot tell you how many times some country that is calling itself socialist, and it is not what socialists mean when they describe socialism,
Mm-hmm.
has then fallen
Yeah.
to then say not real socialism. So, like, no country currently that I'm aware of meets the economic ideals of people who are advocating for any economic system that has advocates. And so,
Correct.
there's two ways you can go with that. You can say all of it's not real, whatever. Or you can just accept that some of it's about as close to real as it's going to get, and then just deal with the fallout of that. And I don't particularly care which one you do, but like do one of them. All right, I'm going to hit play though, before we get bogged down into what counts as real socialism versus real capitalism.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
What that system really is, well, not tonight, but this afternoon, the second session. All right? Do you know what that system really is? That's a system
Another
of
session?
death, of suffering, of nastiness, of ugliness, of brain tumors, of cancer, of cannibalism, leading to the point where you get your average New York City resident, okay?
What is he talking about?
Wow.
So basically he's saying that because evolution involves a lot of animals dying, he doesn't like it, and therefore it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And also apparently just
It's against his
Also-
theology because he doesn't like it.
Also, apparently all New York residents are murderous psychos, I guess.
Cannibals. Yeah.
Cannibals, yes.
Okay, apparently people missed it. The Steam key is for the game Warhammer 40,000 Inquisitor Murder, which is a top-down action RPG in the same vein as like Diablo. So that is what it is for. And if you, I'll post it a third time. Let me know.
It's weird. Usually some random person or a bot snatches those up.
Maybe everyone in my chat actually already just has Warhammer 40,000 Inquisitor Murder. I'll tell you
That'll
what.
be cool.
If no one gets it, I'll put it.
I don't.
Do you want it?
No.
Okay. If no one grabs it here, I will just post it on my Blue Sky and see what happens there.
Guys, that's an ugly system.
Okay.
That's an ugly
And?
history.
Man, no one says that you don't exist just because your mom's ugly, man. So, like, who cares?
It sort of sounds like he is a proponent for history revision.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean that's what a lot of
Oh.
this young Earth creationism is. They're
Drink
like,
from
well,
opera.
they think evolution depends on death and suffering, and since their particular reading of Genesis won't allow for death and suffering before the fall, they're like, well, therefore it's wrong. It's like when Michael Jones said, well, the experts say this, but the Bible says this other thing.
Yeah, but he's saying, like, he's really, this is one of these moments where he's really saying the quiet part out loud, where, look, everyone, this is what we're doing because this makes us feel uncomfortable. He's basically coming straight out and saying that. Regardless of, I mean, that's what history revision is, right? It's
Yeah.
whitewashing parts of our past that make somebody uncomfortable, or
Pretty much.
and that's what this is.
Well, it's what it is when you use
Just
the word
straight up-
historical revision or revisionism in the pejorative sense. But as someone with an actual degree in history, I do want to point out that the basic thing that all historians do is try to revise our narratives of history to make them more accurate. Because
Right.
the other option would be that the first historians who ever touched on something are automatically right forever, no matter what new evidence
Sure.
comes to light. So there is this sort of dichotomy that I always struggle with, which is, colloquially, historical revisionism usually means stuff like pretending the Holocaust didn't happen, or that the Trail of Tears didn't happen, or that slavery was really just no big deal. And those are obviously not okay things to do. However, on the other hand, basically revising narratives around history is literally the entirety of the field of history. So, like,
right, but I don't think like historical revisionism is a term. I'm guessing that's not, like, when you say that, everyone has, like, it's the way in which the term has evolved
among
in our own
non-historians,
language, right?
among non-historians, the term has started to basically just mean people who want to deny the horrible parts of history to make themselves feel better.
Yeah.
Or to support their bigotry, which often those two things overlap.
Yes, exactly.
Let's see. Where is Waldo for 5? Beaverbuck says, capitalism is for the capitalist class, also known as plutocrats, the obscenely wealthy. And that certainly is what's happening in a lot of modern places that are practicing what most people are calling capitalism. Although, like I said, that's still not what someone like Murray Rothbard, who was a intellectual proponent of a thing he called capitalism, would have supported. So, like, it's one of those weird things where, yeah, you have a group of people. There's this group of people saying, we want capitalism, and we want these extensive, in some cases, reforms. Like, I cannot tell you how many libertarians pointed out correctly in the wake of the oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico by British Petroleum that they were given, without any public input from, like, the actual voters, waivers and caps on liability for accidents in the Gulf of Mexico, and that they would not have otherwise drilled there because the liability would have been enormous and they couldn't have got insurance for it. And they're right about that. The United States government was like, don't worry about what damage you cause to the ecosystem or the livelihood of all the people around the Gulf of Mexico. Drill, baby, drill. And so British Petroleum, as well as a bunch of other oil companies, were like, oh, you'll just protect us from the people we harm? Cool. Whereas, again, the libertarians were like, no, they should be facing the full liability. They should be out of business right now.
Yeah.
So, like, I am not someone who is advocating for that system, but I'm also not going to conflate it with the system we have now, because it's not the system we have now. So, like, that's why I don't actually tend to identify myself with a proposed economic system, because I don't think we're ever going to get there. And I also have a lot of criticisms for the current one. And sometimes they actually do line up with what people like Murray Rothbard would say, which is, I don't think we should limit corporate liability. That seems stupid. And on the other hand, I do think that maybe we should make sure that people are provided for with things like basic housing and food and things like that, and medical care, which Murray Rothbard would not really have been very okay with. So, yeah. Actually, Rothbard might have been. He actually wanted to have a bigger social safety net. So I guess Ayn Rand wouldn't have agreed with me on that one. I'll say that. Yeah. Also, Murray Rothbard was really tired of like restrictions on like food stamps and stuff. He was like, just give people cash. Stop caring about what they spend money on. If you're going to give people money from the government to help support themselves, just give them cash. Just stop with all the, you means tested and you can't buy cooked chicken and you can't buy, like, just cash. So I find a few weird points of intersection between me and him, which is weird to say because he's not generally someone who I'm just like, oh yeah, big fan. But like, yeah, he does have some weird points of like intersection where I'm like, yeah, no, Murray Rothbard was right about this. If you're going to help support people, you shouldn't be telling them what they can and can't buy with the support you're giving them. You should just give them cash. So, I don't know. I'm going to stop talking about this now. Tree Clam Tat for $5 says, as someone born and raised in New York City, I am disappointed we're only murderers and cannibals in his mind. We make good pizza too with a Mothra. You do make good pizza.
Hey, well, I'm gonna say, now please hear me out. What I'm not saying is that New York City does not make good pizza. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that I thought it was oversold a little bit. It's I was a bit underwhelmed. And I think my expectations based on what I was told, I feel like set me up for something that it was not quite that.
Fair.
So.
By the way, we are 20 super chats away from the second Steam key, which is for the same game. I've just been informed that this first Steam key says that it was already taken, which means presumably someone in chat grabbed it and just didn't tell me, which I'm not happy about. I would prefer that you tell me, but like, I'll take that as what happened. All right, here we go.
And that's a history that goes totally contrary to what God said. So I will use dinosaurs.
The experts say one thing, but my theology says another.
Mm-hmm. Therefore, all the evidence is actually
Mark
wrong. Instead, my interpretation of my favorite book is right. Which, by the way, the number of people who seem to treat the Bible like their favorite book, but who don't bother to learn any Greek or Hebrew, like the languages that their favorite book is written in, kind of disturbing, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I always get amused now when it's like, yeah, but the Bible says this, and then they just start quoting from an English translation, and I'm like, okay, well, first of all, there aren't any two English translations that agree, and then second of all, does the original language that this text was written in say that? You don't know. Yeah. Oh, so you're just going off vibes and then hearsay. Cool.
Actually, this Thursday, I was talking to a creationist named Craig on Jackson Wheat's channel, and we ended up talking about the fact that Abraham enters Egypt during the Pharaonic period, right? Because it says that it actually mentions Pharaoh. He's like, well, I don't know, does it? And it's like, it says that in my English translation, but I don't know. I'm like, well, look, let's just check Hebrew, right? It's not like we can't pull up the text in Hebrew right now. And
no one can understand it. It's a lost language. We'll never know.
And like he didn't object like that, but it did seem like the idea that we could just check Hebrew just like didn't occur to him. And it's like, yeah, it says Pharaoh. So if we're gonna take this story as a historical event, then yes, Abraham is in Egypt after the start of the Pharaonic period. So what do we do there? And the reason I was saying that is because it constrains how far after the flood Pharaonic Egypt can start. And because we know that we have art from Pharaonic Egypt of a bunch of modern species, we know that the Ark kinds turned into the modern species by like the start of the Pharaonic period, which is before Abraham gets there. So it puts a very severe time crunch on how long you have to go from Ark kinds to modern species.
I just love that young Earth creationists are like, evolution's impossible. This can't happen. It's a fable. It takes bajillions of years. But then their model requires hyperspeed evolution.
Yeah. Well, since AIG likes to treat Proboscidea as its Ark kind, it requires every single proboscidean cow to give birth to a calf that is of a different species every single pregnancy for about 100 years.
Great.
Yep.
Love that for them.
Yep. It's pretty wild.
To give to the younger generation a history that totally undermines the Word of God. And the dinosaurs are fun and cute, and they're just fun. No, they're not. They are tools that are being used to communicate a very serious message.
That's the thing. It threatens his preferred theology, so it must be wrong.
And
who
also,
cares what the facts say?
He's also imputing malice onto basically just paleontologists who are just doing their jobs. Right? Like,
right.
Carl, I can guarantee you that no one is going out into the field to dig up a dinosaur bone in hopes to hurt your feelings specifically. Like, no one's doing that.
It's the same thing that happens just about every single one of Kip's streams or Dan McClellan's streams or Josh Bowen's or whoever. When they talk about the Bible historically or academically, but it starts rubbing up against someone's preferred theology, their first question is, why do you hate the Bible? You hate the Bible? You guys hate Christians? Like, shut up. Stop acting like you have main character syndrome. Jeez.
Kip, why do you hate the Bible so much?
I have a shirt. Did you see? I have this shirt. I made a shirt.
Okay.
You hate the Bible devil's a liar.
Yeah, that's true. I heard that.
No, you can read the shirt, can't you? I mean, no, it's mirrored, so it looks weird.
It's
but-
not mirrored for me, but okay.
It's not mirrored,
Oh, good. Okay,
It's only mirrored for you.
but it is very blurry.
Yeah.
it's just mirrored for me. It is very blurry. But I fucking love the Bible.
Oh, Danielle OS says, I would go out in the field to dig up dinosaur just to hurt this guy's feelings, but I don't want to get sunburned. All right. Well, with the
Yeah.
exception of Danielle,
Thank you for reminding me to use sunblock today when I go out,
It
and
is
tomorrow
important.
because it's Pride.
Kip, you should probably get some sunscreen.
Is
I'm
there
planning on buying sunscreen this week. Yes.
another way of explaining this type of evidence?
Well, is there another way that is not like logically contradictory? Yeah, sure. Is there another good way that actually does a better job of addressing the evidence? No.
Yeah. How about simply, let's go to the only one who's always been there, who knows what happened. His name is God, and he told us in the beginning, God did what? God created. By the way, do you understand how important those two words are right there?
The God created words?
God created. Those are really, really important. God created.
I mean,
Okay.
I will agree that those are pretty important, since I do believe that the rhetorical goal of Genesis 1 is to portray the God of the Israelites as the creator of the cosmos.
Yeah.
And that it's
Yeah.
doing that in opposition to the creation myths of other cultures with which, the Israelites were in contact, we'll say. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess those are the important words there.
I know that there may be some people in here. I don't know my audience that well. This is my first time out here. But just about every church that I go to, there will be those that disagree with me on creation and God used evolution. And, you take evolution, put it.
I want to point out that if God created the world and had as part of that creative act the use of biological evolution, that would not negate the idea of God creating. Those things are not mutually contradictory.
in the Bible, and
I'm
they're two work
also
together.
I'm also gonna say I mean I don't know, but my guess is that in the places where he gives these talks, he gets very little pushback.
Oh, yeah,
It's just
clearly.
I would say
Just
he
a
gets no
guess.
pushback.
Yeah.
That I wasn't gonna say that, right? But I feel like that he probably gets like the most minimal pushback.
I will say this. I don't know if it's no pushback, because I grew up going to a church that was a young earth creationist church that taught, the youth group young earth creationist lessons, that had young earth creationist books in the library, and that invited at least one young earth creationist speaker. However, not only did I give that guy some pushback during the Q&A session, I was not the only person, and in the sort of reception afterwards that involved a little bit of like a light lunch and such, I was not the only person who came up with critical questions, and also I overheard the pastor apologizing for the rough reception that he received. So I don't know what he always gets in every church, but I will say that there are times when young earth creationist churches do not give terribly great receptions to certain young earth creationist speakers. So,
Dapper, please also remember that you're on the edge of the bell curve, as am I.
but that's why I also points out that other
Yeah.
people gave him some pushback. It wasn't just me.
Yeah.
So it's not a given that every young earth creationist gets a completely warm and uncritical reception at these churches, but it is probably the norm. Dark Law Dragon, who's been a member for 46 months, is at the tetrapod level, says Godzilla, Mothra, Ghidorah, drink, and AIG are a bag of dicks, all via emojis, and I will take a drink. Thank you.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, it was fun to make a little CGI bag, put the letters AIG on it, and then fill it with eggplants. That was fun. 3D eggplants that I had to make.
Together, and I will challenge you on
Victoria
that. because-
Macarius in the chat is saying that they got sunburned through a closed window. So yeah, UV radiation does not respect window panes. So
It depends on the glass.
It
but
depends
yeah.
on the window pane. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
A lot of windows actually do block out most, if not all, UV, but not all of them do. And it depends on the chemical makeup of the glass.
You can spend
I have a little
an obscene amount of money on windows to protect you from the UV
That's true.
rays
Oh, yeah,
of
yeah.
the sun.
There's a little film that I have that I put on windows at my old place because they were very old, crappy windows,
Hmm.
and the film reflected probably 70 or 80% of light period, but also UV light, so it kept the room a little cooler, and it also provided some privacy, so that was nice.
All right.
Because that's what I was raised with. I was raised with ritual. I knew stand up, sit down, kneel. I knew when the offering plate was coming, but I
My guy, this is something that
Habits
drives me a
aren't
little
ritual, but okay, whatever.
bit. That's also true, but also
Right.
this is this thing that some evangelicals do where they're like, "Oh, we're not all about rituals," and yet there is a set form to your worship services. There are particular clothes that people are expected to wear when attending. There is a certain level of decorum that is maintained that differs in what counts as decorum depending on the tradition that your church is part of. There is no way for humans to escape rituals. Humans develop rituals de novo when they don't have any to practice at the moment. Humans are ritual animals because rituals give patterns and help give significance to parts of our lives. They are comfortable and they help you realize the importance of what's going on. That's why people who are not actually active Christians, who don't believe in it anyway, in many parts of the world, still have christening services for their babies because it helps the community and their family come together to celebrate and recognize a new member of that community. And by assigning godparents, it also helps come up with things like, the phrase, it takes a village. Those are essentially designated alternate parents for when that's needed. And it doesn't matter whether or not the incarnation is real or whether or not the Trinity is true or any of these things. The ritual helps ground that community in important things that matter regardless of the theological claims. You cannot escape ritual, dude. You can't.
Yeah, it's like, look, we're social creatures, and you're not going to get around that just because you don't like it.
Yep. In fact, actually, I think it was actually something C.S. Lewis said, who was like, my big problem with atheist groups is not that, like, they disagree with me about theology. It's that most of them are so damn boring. I want there to be, like, bonfires and fireworks as celebrations on Darwin Day. I would drink some beer and dance around a bonfire on Darwin Day. That sounds great. Instead, they want to have biology lectures. And you know what?
Yeah, well,
I don't agree with C.S. Lewis on many things, but he's not wrong. Get some rituals, atheist groups. You'll be more fun for it. And it'll be easier to get people to join.
That are of the type of, like, the Reddit atheists are just like, no, we can do everything secular without rituals. And it's like, no, you can't. You can't.
You can try, you'll
That's
fail.
not how humans work.
And you'll be boring.
Yeah.
didn't know Jesus, and there's a major difference, okay? But I knew ritual. And
Okay, dude.
my first Sunday school teacher taught me, you take evolution, you put it in the Bible, God used it, God directed it, and that's all I knew, and I believed it, and I was saved. Am I questioning your salvation if you disagree with me on this issue? No.
I don't care.
Implications of that are vital.
No one gives a fuck.
Number one killer of teenagers, what? Guys, when you go study circumstances, nothing turned into something.
I'm skipping ahead until he gets back to scientific claims because otherwise all it is just...
Okay.
Seriously, I just don't
Yeah,
care about hearing
no.
him preach, man.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
Generally speaking,
Okay.
we skip preaching as well as just skipping things that are just like argument from consequence. If people believe evolution, they might not believe in the Imago Dei. Okay, cool. That's not an
Right.
argument
no.
against
Yep.
evolution.
all right. Yeah.
But also, like, don't
Also,
have to
everybody
not...
misunderstands the Imago Dei anyways, so...
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Them to turn into everything, then how pretty, how smart, how talented, how much money do you have in the bank? How many people check the box saying that they liked you or disliked you? Your value comes from what people give you, and if your value comes from what people give, people can take it away. But if your value is based in God created,
Or preaching.
no, to get it. You want another big issue? There's another key 2 words. God said. Not what do you think, what do you think? I don't care what you think. What we wrote, but let me tell you what you meant.
That he said it.
I know they can't. We think we are. Sorry, who do I think I am to tell? Middle of the 4th commandment. Let's take, why don't you, the King James Version of the Bible.
Oh, okay, here's a good question.
Written in...
You didn't want to talk about the The days of creation.
No,
But that's
I don't
cool.
care.
We don't know.
I don't care. Look, there are contexts in which I would care. Like if this were a talk on your channel about what it says in Genesis, I would care. That's not what I'm here
That's
for.
cool.
Yeah. The degree to which I care about things like what it says in Genesis depends on the context in which I'm having the conversation. So, yeah, I'll say that. But this is a good question. Kip, why do you think we don't find the word dinosaur in the Bible?
Probably because it was written in Hebrew.
Weird.
Now, okay.
And Greek. It was also and Aramaic.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll counter though.
All those languages.
I'll counter.
Okay.
And my counter is that
Yes.
if I open up a Bible, I can find the word eagle. But the word eagle doesn't appear in Hebrew or Aramaic or Greek. So why can't I find the word eagle in my English translation, but not the word dinosaur?
The chat saying that this guy heard me. He's responding to me.
I mean, it's well, just because I mean because they didn't. In terms of the in not the technical definition, but in terms of what people imagine first when they think of dinosaurs, there's just not any in the Bible.
It just doesn't.
There's no reason. There's no reason for that word to be there.
Right.
None.
And so I'm going to go ahead and predict that what he's going to say is it's because the word dinosaur wasn't invented until the 19th century. Yeah. Tree Clam Tad says, "At Dapper dinosaur."
Dragons.
No, I don't know what this is in reference to, but yeah. So here's the problem, right? The reason the word dinosaur isn't in the Bible is not because the word was created recently, relatively speaking, or coined recently, I suppose. No. It's because none of the words in the Bible are best translated by that word. Period. None of them. Not tenin, not the times when it's unclear whether the text originally said tenin or tenim, jackals. It's not that either. Because another one of my favorite things is when creation is like, look at all the times dragons are mentioned, and then like more than half of them are times when it's just jackals. It's like, okay, so you think this dragon, which you think was a dinosaur, was suckling her pups in the ruins of Jerusalem. Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense.
1611. Now, you've got the King James Bible written in 1611. You don't find the word dinosaur in there. Why?
Well, in that case, for the 1611 Bible, yeah, it is reasonable to say both that the word didn't exist to be put in the Bible, and also that nothing in the original.
Word. Yes.
Yeah, but also none of the words that were in the original texts, or well, the original languages, because we don't obviously have the original texts, but none of the words in the original languages are best so translated, even after the word was coined. Tree Clown Tat for $2 says, it was coined recently. I see what you did with the Koine.
Ching.
I recently came across someone saying that Koine Greek is fake. The only texts ever composed in it are supposed to be the New Testament, and that what it actually is
wrong.
It is that the Greek of the New Testament is to real Greek as Yiddish is to German. And I was like, wow, all of that is real stupid, but okay.
Okay.
Which is not to say that there is not any influence from, Hebrew and Aramaic in the texts of the New Testament, because there obviously is. There's even parts that are just transliterated from Aramaic, but like, no.
One of the reasons why the New Testament was written in Koine is because the Septuagint was written in Koine, and lots of early Jewish literature was written in Koine, like the Greek Greek stuff.
Nope, it was only the New Testament, Kip. You're just wrong. I don't know. We should just get you out of here. Clearly, you don't know that Koine Greek is fake, and it's actually just like Jewish Greek that no one else spoke.
I actually know some things about what I'm talking about.
That sounds impossible.
So.
This is rehashed information for some of you, I'm sure. The word wasn't even invented. When was the word invented?
18-something.
1841.
Cool.
In 1841, a guy named Sir Richard Owen.
None of this is relevant.
You want a crazy bunny trail? Come with me to English.
A bunny trail, bro.
Because Sir Richard Owen was a creationist. And
I want to point out he was an old Earth progressive creationist. He was not a young Earth creationist, and it's not clear whether or not he believed in a global flood. So creationists out there, young Earth creationists especially, when you claim Sir Richard Owen as your own, there's two things I want you to remember. One, he was not your kind of creationist. He was a kind of creationist that largely doesn't exist anymore, because there are basically no progressive creationists anymore. And progressive in this case does not have anything to do with political progressiveness. Put that out there. Two, that dude was a gigantic asshole, and maybe you should not hold him up as a hero. And I don't just mean like to the nasty evolutionists. He was a dick to everyone.
And when the London Museum of Natural History was built, he made it to bring glory to God. You couldn't even, in the original exhibits, you couldn't put humans and animals next to each other. They were in separate wings.
Is that true? Do you think that's true?
I have no idea if it's true. I don't know why it would matter if it were true.
Could be made up.
It could be, although
it's just one of those things, right? It just feels like the sort of thing that guys like that grifters like this like to invent.
So I will say that, like, if you go to like the Smithsonian,
or just accept uncritically.
I will say that if you go to like the Smithsonian or something, right? They have wings that are dedicated to things like paleontology or like modern flora and fauna of North America. I mean, and then also there are separate wings that have things like archaeology of those areas, and they don't tend to overlap. So there are a lot of modern museums that will keep anthropological and like zoological displays separate, even though humans are animals.
Right.
So like it might just be as simple as like, well, we put the anthropology stuff here and we put the faunal stuff over there, and we don't cross over there because that's the anthropology wing and that's the zoology wing.
Sensible taxonomy, in other words, is what's happening.
So the answer is like, maybe that's true, and even if it is, I don't know what the significance of it is. Sure. But also, even if it was just Richard Owen saying like, I don't want any mixing of humans and animals because humans bear the imago Dei and I want to give all glory to God, like, okay, then what? Some guy did a thing with a building that doesn't tell us anything about whether or not humans were running around with T-Rex before the flood, or whether evolution is true, or anything like that. It's just a thing a guy did when he was designing what exhibits in a museum to put somewhere. It doesn't lead anywhere.
But when Sir Richard Owen retired, a guy named Thomas Huxley, anybody remember that? Darwin's bulldog? He got a guy named Charles Darwin's statue put in there, placed in the very center when you walk in, took Sir Richard Owen, stuck it in some corner somewhere. Does that have anything to do
with whether or not descent with modification is true?
Yeah. Also, in chat, someone is saying that someone gave 5 memberships. That has not happened in this chat. So, in answer to Roshana's question, no one has given out memberships this stream. Not so far. Sydney Raptor for $2 redo says Raw Matt has a slide on Patrick Owen for a year. Oh no. Oh no. Goodness.
Ugh.
That reminds me of there was at least one time when a flat earther was going on about Foucault, like the Foucault's pendulum, except they went to the Wikipedia page for the wrong Foucault, and instead it was
wrong Foucault.
Yeah, the wrong Foucault. And so they started complaining about how, see, this doesn't have anything about the pendulum, and it looks like he was gay. And it's like, oh my god, dude.
It's like, that's the wrong one.
Not even the right
That's
guy.
one of my favorite things at Griffith Observatory is right when you walk in the front entrance, there's a giant Foucault pendulum.
Which is super cool.
In the, like, atrium. Yeah.
Another one of my favorite things is when flat earthers say that they don't count if you have like a little electromagnet in the middle that pulls the pendulum towards it to keep its momentum going. And it's like, well, that doesn't change the orientation because it's a circular or like a spherical field that just pulls in.
I mean, do you just want them to build a vacuum chamber like in the atrium? Like, what are you talking about, dude? My goodness.
Well, no, because vacuums aren't real, Vishanti, remember?
Oh, of course, that's right. You have to build giant, like, Hoover vacuums.
Yeah. Because
when I was a kid, there was a Foucault pendulum at the Calgary Planetarium.
Neat.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever end up like back in Southern California, you got to go to Griffith Observatory, Kip. It is very cool.
I would love to. Let's do it sometime.
It's free.
It had points out it was Sleeping Warrior. I forgot that it was Sleeping Warrior.
Oh, it was Sleeping Warrior. Oh my god.
The man for whom the phrase "I need to take a Riley" was invented.
Yep.
Kip,
Pissing on stream.
you know about the fact that Sleeping Warrior Anthony Riley just took a piss on camera on stream?
No.
Oh yeah, he did. Now, to be fair, like I'm
In a
not
jar?
saying
DP in a jar.
it seems like it was like in an empty like soda bottle.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
He did it Amazon
Wow.
style.
Yeah.
Wow.
And now, to be fair, the camera was
Oh.
not angled so that you could see him actually emitting fluid. It was from like,
Sure.
you know, it was framed on his bust. But like you could
So-
kind of see the continued relief with that sigh of, oh, I'm done now. And
Mhm.
and then
Wow.
and yeah, it was very clear that he was taking a piss on
Now-
stream.
Now this makes me feel like I need to tell a story. It's a short story, but
I don't believe you.
I
but-
do-
when I
Okay, well,
was
Before you
when I
start
was
that, I do need to
younger-
dip
Hold on.
early because my new medicine, which
Oh.
I finally got my official ADHD diagnosis. Woo! It is
Congrats.
making my head feel weird, and it's
Okay.
giving me very intense cotton mouth. So I'm gonna go drink a lot of water and lay down for a bit because I'm feeling very out of it all of a
All
sudden.
right.
I don't like this. It's very
Okay.
weird. But I will continue to listen to the stream just
Bye,
from the
fish.
bed.
Bye.
Look after yourself. So, when I was younger than a lot younger than I am now, my wife and I we were going to borrow my father-in-law's van to go on a holiday up island. That's Vancouver Island. And so he was showing me around how to it was like a small camperized van, right? And he's showing me around the various things. And then in the back where the bed is, he pulled out a jar and he said to me, "This is my pecan,
Oh,
and you're welcome to use it."
well, that's so generous of him.
Yes. And I was like, "Oh." He said, "Yeah, some nights it's a little bit of work to climb, over my wife and into the porta potty in the back to take a proper piss." So
Especially if
that's how he did it.
Especially if the porta potty is frozen over, because then you got to get out the ice pick.
If the porta potty's what?
Frozen over. If the water's frozen over, you got to get out the
Yeah,
ice
but why
pick.
would that be?
Because it's cold.
You don't have to do that. It's not. It was summer. It was summertime.
Wait, you have those?
Nothing was frozen. I mean, they're very nice actually.
I find that
Alright.
hard to believe.
They're not so hot that you want to die, which is great. But then you're just comfortable all the time. The sun is shining. It's lovely. So, yeah.
Okay.
Up and it's like a platform. It's much like this. You'll see Charles Darwin's statue there and changed everything. But the original structure was built to bring
What did
glory
it
to.
change?
Nothing. The statue changed nothing.
Nothing.
Other than that there is a statue there now, whereas before there might not have been.
It's a statue.
Yeah.
And big ass statue, great.
It is
I
very
don't know.
nice.
Charles Darwin. If you're gonna build a big ass statue of someone, I don't know that it's a great idea to be building big ass statues of anyone. But if you're gonna build one of someone, Charles Darwin doesn't seem like such a bad choice. Yeah. So,
Look, it's a much better
okay.
choice than many of the statues that have been made in the United States.
Certainly, I would. Yeah, I would rank it. I would rank it in the upper echelon of good statue choices.
Yep.
Comfortable with that.
God. By the way, Christians in here today, that is one of the big problems that I think we even have here in America.
Is big old statues?
Statues. I agree. Yes,
Yeah, that's
statues.
you know what?
Of
Sure.
terrible people. Big problem.
Take a drink. That's
It's-
correct. It is a pretty big problem.
Yes.
Yep.
You can have a great foundation, but the minute you back off and just kind of, I'm not going to get involved in that area, Satan will get involved in that area.
Look, what is he talking about?
Basically, he's giving a soft Christian nationalist talking point where unless Christians are actively involved in making sure that everything that happens in society takes these feelings of Christians specifically into account as an important aspect of whatever that thing is, then instead Satan's going to take over. And so that's why Satan is in charge of things like the mattress industry, right? Because there aren't enough Christians insisting on Christian mattresses. So that's just how it works. Once Christians
thought we
cede the
were-
territory, Satan moves right in. That's why you
I
had
thought
so
he
many.
was talking about statues.
No, he's talking
just- I'm
much more
very
broadly.
confused.
This is in fact a soft
God.
Christian nationalist talking point. That Christians need to
Okay.
be deeply involved in every aspect of society. Otherwise, the forces of darkness
Mm.
will be involved in those aspects of society, and that's bad.
It's true.
Yep.
It's true. Very Abraham Kuyper of him.
Yeah, and so this is actually one of those things where it's like, this right here is an example of why I say that young Earth creationism is just a propaganda arm for Christofascism.
Sure. Yep.
What Carl is doing right now is Christofascism. He's saying, no, we have to
hear
be
it, yeah.
involved as Christians, pushing Christianity into every aspect of life. No, you don't.
Every inch. Yeah.
You don't. Now, don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean that you can't have your Christian ideas inform parts of your life, and that will inform how you do things like vote or advocate. I don't know how it could be otherwise, right? If that's a big part of your identity is your Christianity. But that's not the same thing as making sure everything is Christian. Not everything needs to be Christian. In fact, a lot of things that are currently Christian would be better off if they weren't, like certain movies. Like, I don't think we need any more God's Not Dead movies. I think we can leave the
we sure
movies out
don't.
of that area.
Aside from the only good, I mean, aside from the entertaining cringe factor, I can do without.
Yeah, there actually was one of them.
And even then, I'm willing to make the sacrifice if it
Yeah.
makes things better.
There actually was one of
you
them
know.
that had some pretty poignant internal critiques for evangelical Christianity, and then they never did that again.
Yeah, I think it was the third or the fourth one, and it
think
just
so,
and then
yeah.
it was like all the way back. It just
Mhm.
it just rolled all the way back to and just doubled down hard. So
Chris Decker points out, make sure you exercise your mattress. Yeah, you got to break it in. Very important.
mm-hmm.
We have to be engaged in the culture. We can't run and hide from it. I'll talk more about that. But even if you go to an 1828 dictionary, which, by the way, I encourage everybody in this room, when you get an opportunity, go to your app store and type in 1828 dictionary.
Why?
Why?
The only reason I can see that anyone should do this is if they are like working on 1820s or 1830s literature.
Literature.
Right.
Yes.
Because, okay.
Hey, is this kind of reminds me, this is like a Flurf talking point too, isn't it?
The 1828
am I getting
dictionary?
that right? Or at least like the good dictionary is like the super old one. You have to use this. If they're newer than this one, then it's bad. You're
Cherry
missing
picking
things.
sources to avoid definitions they don't like is certainly a thing they do.
Right.
Yeah.
Download the free version. You don't need to pay. Free version may not look as nice, but it is just as good, has all the information. Look up the word dinosaur in an 1828 dictionary, and you know what you're going to find? It's not there.
Nothing.
Because it wasn't
Okay.
invented until
Oh my God.
1841.
Guys, go download an entire app to confirm the very uncontroversial and unimportant fact that the word dinosaur hadn't been invented in 1828. I'm taking a drink for how stupid this is.
It's wild. How wild is this, Dapper? That like this is the only thing that he's asked his audience to fact check him on so
Right?
far.
And why? It's so pointless.
Yes.
Like, don't fact check me on
Yes.
how far the Morrison Formation or the Hell Creek Formation extends. Don't fact check me on the
No.
geology. Don't fact check me on the biology or the course of, like, cosmic evolution to stellar evolution. Don't fact check me on any of those things.
But if it's the last thing you do,
You better get that dictionary.
download that 1828 dictionary app.
Otherwise, you're in trouble. It's so bizarre. It's like when Kent Hovind gives out as his source some guy's phone number. It's like, what the hell are you doing? This isn't well. Like, I'm a big fan of sourcing your claims, but like of all the claims, who cares about? This has got to be one of the big who cares moments.
Did this help to explain why Kent Hovind is surrounded by so many weirdos in the first place? Is because everybody has his phone number?
855 Big Dino?
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be.
It's not a great idea.
Um,
Guys, to just to just publish your phone number for
I
the
mean,
entire world
So the thing is,
to access.
Kent came up in a very different world that did not have the idea of like the
That's fair.
internet and
Yeah.
like people just constantly prank calling you and whatnot, and where anonymity was seen as a safety matter. I'm actually willing to spot Kent and say, you know what, he is old enough that he came up in a world where being open about your name and even your
all I'm
address
saying-
was just normal.
All I'm saying is no judgment. It helps to explain some things, I think.
Chris Decker says not to be confused with his inmate number. Well, given that he served some time for that domestic abuse conviction, I think he might have 2 inmate numbers now.
Did he actually?
He did, apparently. So
I wasn't aware.
That is what I am getting from people who have followed that case more closely than I did.
Wow.
I should probably contact Cindy, Cindy Lincoln, that is, the person who he was convicted of being violent towards, and confirm with her. But my understanding is that he did in fact end up serving several months, which is not nearly enough in my opinion, but it's better than the 0 that he predicted he would serve. Of course, Kent has a long history of being very bad at predicting how court cases are going to go for him. So the only time he ever had a court case kind of go well is when his what was it? I think it was his he was charged with something like mail fraud or something like that, or like using the USPS to send threats or something like that, and that case ended up getting dropped. And then he was acquitted of one other thing in connection with that, and it turns out it was because a Kent Hovind sycophant managed to get on the jury and basically just refused to vote guilty on anything, and the DA did not want to go through another trial for what was going to be basically putting him in prison for like an extra few months on top of his decade-long sentence. They're like, whatever, fine, he gets away with it. Whatever. Anyway, Kip, what do you got coming up here? You got to be quick.
I have I'm teaching 2 courses right now. So I've got lectures for those on Tuesday and Wednesday. On Thursday, Justin from Deconstruction Zone is going to be on with me for Kitty Anti-Breed, which is my weekly Hebrew reading show, and that is at 8:00 Eastern, 5:00 Pacific on my channel. On Friday, Vish and I will probably be continuing with a bad Michael Jones video, which means nothing to everyone because every video of Michael Jones is a bad video. So it's just, it's another one. It's about the Exodus and the conquest. And then on Saturday, I'll be back here and I'll be doing Budget Scripture Saturday in the evening. I think that's everything.
Awesome. All right. So what's coming up here? I think there might actually be rum and coke night tonight, but I'm not positive. So, like, if that's the case, I think those are on Debate Pub, which is Chesh's debate and lecture channel. So you can come for that. If it is tonight, I expect to be there. So I don't remember exactly when that is, though. So, like, whatever. But on Tuesday, we will be back with Tisdall Tuesday. So back with Chesh for Tisdall Tuesday, taking a look at everyone's favorite Quebecois young Earth creationist, Lawrence Tisdall. He's also the only Quebecois young Earth creationist I'm aware of. So, like, it's a small pool, but he's the biggest fish in it. Let's see. Then, that'll be at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Then on Thursday, I will be premiering a video. It is going to be Elephants Can't Exist, according to this creationist, which is the 5th part of the 6-part series in which Answers in Genesis Canada keep giving me homework. It's very long. But yeah, apparently, we're going to find out why elephants are impossible, which is weird because
sounds like that's weird. That sounds like a weird video.
Yeah. So that's Thursday. That'll be at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Then on Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. The plan is Star Trek Adventures Season 3, Episode 2, Disunification. The plan is for Kip to be there. So
oh, right. I forgot. I'll be there.
Yeah. So if you want to see me and Kip and Chesh and Maddie and Zerolon and Tirirana and Jordan and I feel like I'm missing someone. Who am I missing, Kip?
Shoot. Did you
Maybe I'm not missing anyone.
Maybe you're not.
Okay, we'll just go with that.
Craig, did you mention Craig?
I didn't. Holy crap. Yeah, FTFE. Craig McNeil from FTFE.
Yeah.
If you want to see all of us hang out, play Star Trek games, and be gigantic nerds, that will be 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern on Top Hats Off. And then a week from today, the plan is to be back. I don't know, Kip, what do you think? Should we give this guy another go? Should we give him one more chance? Or should we just find something else?
I'm good. I'm you know me. I mean, I scrape the bottom of the
I'll tell you what.
the grungiest barrels. So
I'm
good with this.
I will sort of low-key look for something else. And if I don't find anything, then we'll just do another episode of this guy. After that, all I have to say is I'm going to be streaming some Star Trek over in the Discord. If you have access to it, please come by. With that, I'm going to get out of here. And the last thing I have to say is ICE must be abolished. Hey, before you leave, I just want to take a second to thank my patrons and channel members, especially those pledging $20 or above. Sealoof, Ben Tovind, Tapioca Weasel, The Plastic Mouse, Mikhail Dominiak, Sphincter of Doom, Regios, Landon Knoll, Ian Chen, Eleran Teller, Phil Rivera, David Hercules, Joshua Geese, Dan Sheedy, Pegajace, Arrow Dodger, Gordon Love Science, Ember Athelian, Prixie Purple, Agricola Sequa, Me, Myself, and I, Ian Kiambi, Edwin M., Kenneth Swenson, and John Ackerman. It's because of my channel members and patrons whom you're seeing on screen that this channel can stay afloat. Without you, it would all shut down. If you want to join the team, there's a link to join the channel below this video, and there's a link to join the Patreon in the description. On the Patreon, you can get a 15% discount for pledging annually, and either way, you get early access to virtually all of my scripted videos months before they come out for the general public. Thanks for watching.